Hello, everyone. The market is in a very interesting spot. This could just be a buy the dip opportunity. We were leaning a bit bear. My indicators, all bearish. They were all bearish this morning. What did I do? I was like, oh, this is way too good to be true. Let me buy some calls. 2-day trades. Both didn't work. Every single one of my indicators were leaning bearish. Sometimes, I'm dumb sometimes. It is what it is. But anyway, we're going to take a look at what the next steps are for the market. Was this just a buy the dip opportunity? Is this now like cracks in the armor? We're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at the SP500, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the large tech stocks, the dollar, the VIX. We're going to put it all together, and we're going to see what the next steps are. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with the video. All right, first and foremost, let's take a look at SPX seasonality. This is the seasonality chart for the past 20 years on the S&P 500. You can see into the end of February, we get a pullback. All right, so we are getting to the middle, right, end of February. Technically, there should be a bit of a pullback, especially heading into OPEX week. We might get a bit of a pullback. All right, so just purely based off seasonality, things are a bit bearish. Now, remember, a few days ago, we were taking a look at the VIX. I was showing that the VIX was the only thing that was showing some sort of bearishness. And the reason why we monitor the VIX, very, very simple, is because the VIX has a really nice inverted correlation to the market. If the VIX is holding support and it's starting to show strength, that is very bearish. Bearish for the overall market. So as the VIX rallied today, the market obviously dropped. Because the VIX was creating newer highs, we were getting some sort of bottoming out formation on the VIX. So once again, as the VIX was rising, the overall market falls. And that's generally what ends up happening. Now, how much more room is there on the VIX? Well, currently, right now, we held the 1450 level as support. Then we're holding 15. So if we get a close above 16, especially 1650 on the VIX, this is going to be really bad, in my opinion, for the overall market. I don't know if they're going to just plainly allow that, but that's what you have to basically be looking out for. What's interesting, though, is that, yes, even though the VIX is like leaning a bit bullish, meaning like if the VIX is bullish, then the overall market falls, right? Even though the VIX is leaning a bit bullish, the equities market, the stock market does not look terrible. That's the issue. It doesn't look completely terrible. These next few days are going to be a very, very big tell of what happens in the market. And we're getting to a point in the market, especially just in the short term, where one or two bad days can just cause like a huge capitulation. Similar to what happened this morning, where we dropped almost $5, $4 on the SPY. It's getting to that point. So just be very, very careful and just understand that, especially getting into swing trades, it's not like the best case scenario at the moment. These next few days, especially, just monitor. I'm telling you, just monitor these next few days. They're going to be a huge tell. So just keep that in mind. The VIX does look a bit bullish. Equities also look pretty bullish, right? So, look, okay, so this is the daily chart of the S&P 500. All right. What exactly happened today? We broke down on the SPY down to 607, ripped back up, and we closed above 610. So, yes, even on the ES, we retested 6,100. Major support, 6,100. We retested this trend line that originally we broke out from, and now we wicked above it. Technically, this is still a bit kind of bullish, right? But it would make complete sense for us to just drift a bit lower and create a bit of a horizontal level of support. Horizontal levels of support where multiple touches occur at the same horizontal level, price level, right? that bodes as a much stronger wall. Does that make sense? When you're trying to get a level of support, you don't want a level of support that is in a downward slope, because if one slip up, one bad day can cause a cascading move to the downside. So if we're getting a strong hold above 6100, above even 6090, right, on the ES, this becomes much easier for a continued move to the upside. Does this immediately look bullish? No. You'd have to, like, oh wow, this is a great long opportunity, let's go long. Is this a good long opportunity? Absolutely not. 0%. If I had like a want soundboard effect, I would play a want. Absolutely not. This is not a good place to go long. I would much rather go long at horizontal levels of support, especially when we're painting a bit of a bearish picture. But this is not a huge cause for alarm. But it kind of is. So it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult. I'm to really really make things very simple. If 60-70 holds, 60-80 holds, I'm bullish. All right. As long as we are remaining above this level, guys, things are still bullish, and there's still just buying opportunities, in my opinion. I got basically every indicator fired shorts. My futures indicator last night fired shorts, bearish all around, and we got a huge cascading move to the downside after that occurred. Do I think it'll continue? Probably, but what's going to end up stopping the bearishness? What's going to end up stopping the bearishness? If the SPY, in my opinion, can cross back above 611, 612, then we're in the clear. We're in the clear if we get back above 611, in my opinion, on the SPY. 611, 611.50. If we don't, then it's going to be a slow downward move with a huge move to the downside. There's going to be some sort of cascading event to the downside, because this move that we saw this morning was definitely not a strong opportunity to go long. And if anything, right, when you bought at the bottoms, as we bounced back up from 607 back up to 609.80, 610 area, right, that could just potentially be a good spot to sell your longs and repop into short. So like I said, these next few days are going to be very, very important. I'm still bullish as long as we can remain above 604, 605 on the SPY, 60.80, 60.70 on the ES. I got a bunch of short signals on the indicators. Is this a good time to go long? No. Now, same concept with the NASDAQ. Look at this. Yes, we retested the trend lines. Today was a trend line retest day. We tapped back on the trend lines almost perfectly. If this is not market manipulation, I'm not really sure what it is. These uptrend levels that we've been monitoring on the NASDAQ and the SPY and the ES, right, tapped perfectly and we bounced off. So just keep that in mind. We were also short Tesla from the morning. That cascaded much lower as well. So that's my thoughts, right? Just rewatch the last minute of the video. That basically sums up. But now moving forward, let's just analyze the large tech stocks together, right? So Tesla, yes, it does look like it could make a bit more downside to around the mid 340s. Great. But then this area right here is going to be a make or break level for Tesla. If it does not hold this level, then it's going to really capitulate much lower. If it could hold, then it's going to continue rising. So the market is getting to points where it's like make or break levels for Tesla. Apple, still doing great. I don't know if it's going to be able to just climb without getting a major pullback past 247.50, 248.50. So this area right here on Apple is going to be major resistance. We're getting close to it. We're getting close to it on Apple. NVIDIA, same concept. I mean, like, it's bullish. In general, it's really, really tough to be bearish on NVIDIA. Really tough to be bearish on NVIDIA, but once again, this 143, 144 area, it's tough. It's really, really tough. Once again, would I go long on NVIDIA here? If we could hold 138.50, this is a good spot to go long. You could have a tight stop loss and just ride the move to the upside. So yeah, NVIDIA is one thing that I wouldn't really want to try to go short. There's other good stocks and opportunities to go short. NVIDIA is just not one of them, in my opinion. AMD doing its thing, not really doing much. We've been chopping around. Microsoft and Google. So Microsoft actually got a big pop off of this level of support, finally, right? And we are going to get some resistance here where we initially have this gap to fill around 423. That's almost also there. Basically, Apple and Microsoft are getting really close to major levels of resistance so far. Google and Microsoft were both at levels of support, right? They were both consolidating at levels of support. Microsoft got a bit of a bounce. Google still has not. So technically, we're still holding above 183 on Google, which is a major level of support. But we need to start seeing some sort of strength out of Google. And Netflix and Meta are both breaking down lower. They're starting to show some weakness. You could see Meta, right, and Netflix before. Makes sense. We needed a bit of a pullback, and this is the pullback that we're getting on Meta. But now it's on the other tech stocks to pull their weight. And we need to see if these other tech stocks that we're losing can start pulling their weight. Personally, I wouldn't doubt that they should be pulling their weight. Is this going to be just a capitulation to the downside? I don't really think so. Because, I mean, we could... Once again. The VIX is still holding support. The S&P and the NASDAQ tapped on the trend line. Generally, this sort of move is a really good reshorting opportunity. But, damn, that's just the issue is that if you did not go short at the highs, or if you didn't go long from where we ended up going long, trying to enter a new position here is really, really difficult. And would I want to go long at 610? No. Absolutely not. So, just purely based on what could end up happening, if we break above 611.50, the market is going to continue rising, in my opinion. But just based off of the moves that we're seeing, a pullback should be normal. We should get a bit of a pullback and maybe a continued move. But then the third thing, the last thing, is that the amount of manipulation that we just saw today, where we tapped back on the trend lines almost perfectly, is so abnormal. It is just, you have to understand, like, it's very, very abnormal for these things to occur this clean. And when it does occur, it makes just analyzing what's going to happen next so difficult, because if they have this level of manipulation, right, which we know that they do, is this still a good long opportunity on the NASDAQ? Yes, say, for example, people wanted to have... this is my issue. Okay? I'm going to really, really just try to explain this from a trading standpoint. Say you had to make a decision at 3:55 p.m. on the overall market, and you were looking at the NASDAQ. Okay? We're just going to take this one step at a time. Okay. Where would your stop loss be? Down here, right? Right at this level here. What ended up happening earlier? We got a wick below. So all of the people that were already long, right? So don't regard this candle right now. Say, for example, you went long over here yesterday. Where would your stop loss be? Same thing. right at the lows over here. You want to see continue move to the upside. Great. Nice tight stop loss. Continue move to the upside. What the hell happened today is we got a wick below and then we closed back above. When that happens on a red candle at all-time highs, makes things very difficult. Does that make sense? So we're at all-time highs. Red candle broke below the lows. Stop hunt, potentially. Is this a good spot to go long? It's almost never a good spot to go long. This would be a much better spot to go long. Going long at 3:55 p.m. is very, very difficult. Going short at 3:55 p.m. is a higher quality trade. Okay? Just pragmatically speaking, from a trading standpoint, going short at 3:55 p.m., as much as it sucks, as much as we got these stop loss hunts, right? It is the better trade. Going short would be the better trade. But of course, the last thing that we didn't take into account is that we have news tomorrow morning as well. It's probably then in this situation, not taking a trade would probably be the best. But if we didn't have any news, if there was no news, and thank you for continuing to watch and just maybe even feeling the pain that I'm going through, is going long off of a situation like this is not a great setup, because it's just, how much manipulation and strength can there be? Like, that's the issue. If there is a lot of, that's the damn issue here. Okay, because clearly there was enough manipulation to wick it off of a damn trend line, right? So why couldn't there be a bit more strength to the upside? You guys see the predicament. What a predicament. This is just really, really dumb. Unfortunate price action, to be honest. The best trade was to go short in the morning and to go long at the lows, obviously. But damn, this is just sucks. It sucks. Thanks for watching. I don't know what else to say. I hope you guys I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. Love you guys. But damn, this situation is really, really crazy. And because situations like this are really just abnormal, these next few days are going to be very, very important. So just keep that in mind. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. All right. Love you guys. Have a good one.